Last time I looked at 10 terrible music videos in rock. This time, it's 10 awful music videos in rock, all suggested by you. What's the difference between terrible and awful? Nothing! It's just a way to title these videos. Let's watch some garbage. These music videos are not in any order, it's all random. Just like the contents within some of these music videos you're about to see. No further explanation needed, let's get going. It was during Creed's heyday that many of their music videos were praised for being great, including this one for My Sacrifice. I still don't know why though. I don't know if it's confusing symbolism or it is just totally random props and items and people. This whole video makes no sense. There's a mailman handing letters to drowning people, some woman being left behind, Scott Stapp singing to himself in a canoe. Yeah, feel free to leave a comment explaining what's going on in this one because I'm lost. It's so random. It's like they went to a movie studio lot and told the stagehands, just put anything you can find together, we'll make it work. And then they found a tiger. They're great! Supposedly that really was Scott Stapp in the same scene with the tiger. I mean, I'll give him credit on being brave. Not sure why the toy airplane transition comes in though that shows a romantic school bus. When you are with me, I'm free. The phrase romantic school bus probably shouldn't have been brought up ever, let alone visualized. Then the video ends with Scott Stapp aging rapidly. That's only like question 5 of the list of things I want to know going on here. Oh Creed, you're hard to love, but you're harder to hate when you give hilarious nonsense like this. Speaking of random, Blur has no problem getting weird for the sake of just being weird. Most of Blur's videos at least have a charm to them or a theme of some type, even if unrelated to the song. But with a video for Country House, what kind of drugs were they on to think of all this? Oh, it's like an animal farm, that's a rural charm in the country. This video has a giant life-sized mousetrap game, a pervy scientist chasing around women, and everyone taking a bubble bath next to each other. And they all mean nothing. And then it gets more trippy. Can't tell if this is a tribute to Bohemian Rhapsody or they took another hit of acid and thought this would be a good idea. Then it goes right back to pervy scientist and the pig, but with a marching band walking through the mousetrap board game. You get now why I call all this random? When the music video for Coffee and TV looks logical and easy to understand in comparison, you have jumped the shark in trying to be weird. This music video by Blur was nominated for Best Music Video for the Brit Awards back in the day, which makes me wonder, what was the bar for best back then? This is the British version of Pee-wee's Playhouse, minus the word of the day, and Conky the Robot, and Fun Times, and maybe a little more insane. Hey, do you love Huey Lewis? I sure hope so because you're gonna be uncomfortably close to him for a few minutes. This is the whole video. This is from one of the biggest bands in the 1980s. This is what they wanted to show. This obnoxious yet? I don't know if I've ever felt claustrophobic from just looking at another person, especially on a monitor, but wow, my personal space bubble has been violated several times over. There's nothing hip about this in any way. They might as well have shot this in an elevator. I wonder if the 80s video camera had a zoom or if it was a fixed angle and the cameraman also had to stand uncomfortably close to the band. It's even worse if you think about them doing that for hours to make this video. I kinda wish the role that Huey Lewis played in Back to the Future, that teacher or whoever it was, would have stopped this band from playing this song in this music video, you know. Instead of, you're too dang loud, you're too dang close and awkward. I'm gonna need a new drug after staring up Huey Lewis's nose for 3 minutes straight. I'll bet that poor cameraman and director needed something after this also. Looking through the viewfinder to see Huey Lewis's tonsils for minutes on end has to do something to a person's nerve. How did the director approach the band with this idea? All right, Huey, everybody, we want to get you guys up as close as possible because that's what the people want to see. You, no distractions.
Come close. Yeah, closer. Yeah, that's right. Bring me the news. That had to have been a pickup line back in the day, too.
When the brief cameo in Back to the Future is better than an entire music video for a song that had a huge amount of airplay, someone messed up. For the love of God, the music video is almost over too. Please stop breathing on the lens. I don't know if there was more angst or eyeliner in this music video. Either way, they sure are looking cool for the apocalypse.
I'm aware that the whole black leather and eyeliner is their thing for being edgy, but an entire video of this while they just pretend to play in front of a green screen that has CGI destruction behind them, it's enough to even make their 13-year-old fan base go, ugh.
The highlight of this video is when a bunch of teens actually appear in the destruction, and then a ton of fans all watch the shredding, with chaos and fire all around them. It's like Mad Max but lame and self-indulgent and trying really hard to appeal to a niche. This video came back out in 2011, and the video proves Black Veil Brides haven't changed one bit since then. When Kiss did this, they were pretending to be from outer space and demons and, a cat. But in this video, I just get the feeling like a bunch of 12-year-olds dared each other to put on one of their mom's makeup at a sleepover.
It also kind of looks like they just grabbed a bunch of random teens from Warped Tour one year, brought them to the side of the park, set up a green screen and just filmed them jumping around, and then spliced that into this video.
If you like Black Veil Brides, then you probably don't mind this video because this literally sums up their entire identity. But for everyone else, yeah, it just looks like the goth kids from South Park grown up a little more and filming a music video in the basement.
Hello, me. Meet the real me. And my misfits wait.
I have been wanting to talk about this one for a while. Even though I like Megadeth and this song, and this whole idea fits the song, wow, this is really funny to watch. Thinking about Dave Mustaine acting out every individual emotion like this for filming must have been hilarious to see.
Speak of mutually assured destruction. Nice story. Gotcha. Paranoid.
Can you imagine the insane political rants coming out of this room if there were multiple Dave Mustaines? It would sound like every Fox News panel ever. And CNN. Okay, any political show ever. That's what it sounds like.
The video is supposed to be the representation of living in an insane asylum and also depicts a bit of DID, but to me it just looks like a man trying to either intimidate or talk down to himself with his own song that he wrote about himself. Yeah, he belongs in an asylum at this point. It also doesn't help that the digital layering and effects really haven't aged well. It's almost as bad as when they reanimated Princess Leia in Rogue One. Then the rest of the band shows up and they are seen having the same interactions. Asylums are more overcrowded than I thought.
It's hard to really keep a straight face while watching this because you like the song, but it's just so creepy and awkward, but hilarious and entertaining at the same time. It's awful, but I can't look away.
There's an old joke about how the people that talk to themselves are the smartest. Well, that makes Dave Mustaine a genius. Or nutter butter crazy. One or the other.
I'm moving to the country, I'm gonna eat me a lot of peaches.
90s alternative had a wide variety in style. Presidents of the United States of America are rarely brought up now, but their music was everywhere from radio to TV and movie soundtracks. Peaches is one of the two biggest hits they had, and with that, the music video is odd. Oh, it's simple in the first half. Cans of peaches in the trees, a box of peaches, the band is just jamming in an orchard for some reason, but still, it's just what it is.
But it's a 90s video, so clearly it needs ninjas.
Look out!
Then it stretches the song out just for the video to have a long ninja fight. That's it. For no reason, it turned into 3 ninjas all grown up. Then they really tried to make it work with the fight choreography, but their editing sucks, and they shoot a bunch of shots backwards to make it look like they are jumping into trees. Then it ends with a triple punch from the band. That's it. We don't know if they live or the ninjas finish them off. All we know is that they eat a lot of peaches.
I'm fully aware that peaches refers to something else in the context of this song. Don't fill up the comments section with that.
Hey Dad, what were the 80s like? Well son, let me show you this video. Dakin had several videos like this, but it's breaking the chains that incorporates so many individual pieces of 80s music video fashion and the style of the time and wraps it up in one big neon and pastel package. I like me some Dakin, but watching this really makes me glad the coke-filled decade is over.
Just that image of that guitarist. It's like he was trying to be a guitar player for Halloween back in 1983.
Then there is a woman looking at a green screen and pose shot of Dawn. It's supposed to either look as a reminiscent thing or that woman is 15 feet tall. Okay, I think the music video could also be an abstract prequel to the 50 Shades of Grey books with this, setup.
Don't believe me? Well, watch this next scene.
They also free themselves from those chains by using their guitar riffs. That's pretty metal. And awful. Yikes, I get they were trying to be visual with breaking the chains, but wow, I have a lot of questions. Mainly, how high were they all to think this would be a good idea and not embarrassing years later? Yeah, so last year when I talked about Falling in Reverse on the top 10 worst cover songs in rock, I realized I would have to look back at this video one day because it really is a testament to the proverbial flexing on camera.
I'm a loped out gangsta shit tripping banger. And my homies are down, don't arouse my anger.
If you like Falling in Reverse, then more power to you, that's fine. But this music video is the equivalent of an angry 12-year-old screaming into a hairbrush, pretending to look cool in the mirror, and acting like all his friends are watching, and no one cares.
On the surface, you might think it's pretty standard with the band, but then you see scenes of Ronnie yelling lyrics and moving around in front of a sexy prison interrogator or lawyer or something, and then you see Coolio himself standing in the background. He might as well have just held up a sign that said, "They pay me to be here, but I refuse to do anything but stand around." The video is by Dan Centrone, and I can't even imagine the notes he had for everyone. Alright, Ronnie, you just keep flexing. You're the toughest man alive. Coolio, you just try as hard as possible to look like you care. The rest of you just pretend to play your instruments. Just hold them up if you don't feel like it. Ronnie, please don't embarrass us with your dancing and moves. No, come on, Ronnie. Not only is this one of the worst covers ever, but the music video is awful. I mean, it's hilarious to watch, but not for the right reasons.
Okay, I'm aware of how white I am, but this is one of the whitest things I've ever seen. It's like number 2, only behind that one music video I talked about in Kid Rock's Regretting the Past. You know, Welcome to the Party.
My name's Kid Rock, I'm a Capricorn, and Detroit City's where I was born.
I brought this video up in 2016 in the Regretting the Past on Kid Rock. I didn't think this video could age any worse, but it has. From the opening scene of Kid Rock pretending to be a teenager to his awful dancing, to him getting crotch first into the camera, it really is a cacophony of terrible noises and visuals. I want to say it's so bad it's good, but it's really just so bad that it should have been an indicator of why Kid Rock should have never been a thing.
It'll make you shake and move your body, so come on in and welcome to the party.
I don't know what party this is, but I want nothing to do with it. Ugh. A pool party, no less, by Kid Rock. Can you imagine the nautical amounts of urine in a Kid Rock pool? Oh my gosh.
I get that it's supposed to be lighthearted and fun, and I like to think that people making the video at least try to have some fun with this. That does not make this video any better though, as if this is a cross between America's Funniest Home Videos and footage of cops before the actual cops show up. It just keeps going too. They freeze on random people, they have more of Kid Rock getting real close to the camera in the worst way possible, and more solid gold lines like this.
I don't like small cars or real big women, but somehow I always find myself in them.
In the late 90s, Comedy Central had a game show called Make Me Laugh. Well, the new challenge is to watch this music video from the beginning and see how long you last without laughing at Kid Rock. Mine was 40 seconds.
Before he was ripping off other songs and sampling every music clip he could find, he was having a pool party. Humble beginnings for someone who pretends to have humble beginnings.
Got your girl getting busy on videotape.
This is the music video that was suggested to me more than any other by a long shot when I put out the call for recommendations. And after one solid watch, yeah, I get why people wanted separate ways pointed out.
It's totally unfair to call this a product of the 80s because there are many very creative things that come out of the 80s besides air instruments and filming behind a warehouse.
Directed by Tom Buchholz in New Orleans, they shot this over a couple days at a wharf. Instead of having Journey play their instruments and looking good with them and showing off what they can do, the director decided to have them just play invisible instruments and mouth along the words as awkwardly as possible, all with an attractive woman just walking around. We don't really learn who she is either. What you are watching is the entire video. Journey in all their early 80s fashion glory trying to look, I don't know, radical? While this song is going on and the model walks around them. Steve Perry was totally against this video too, saying that the band were musicians, not actors. He then admitted that the band wasn't very photogenic.
Can't really argue with the man.
Speaking of the band, Jonathan Cain said that he's often asked about this video. In his own words, "I'm at a loss to explain that video. I will never live down those air keyboards. No matter what else I've done in my career, sooner or later, people will find a way to ask me about the Separate Ways video."
Yeah, I would ask that also, sir. That's exactly what I would want to know.
But that's okay, because Cain can say that it never happened. In the video, it ends with the pretty lady in bed with her headphones on, as Journey playing at a dirty wharf was all a dream. That's it. The end. No explanation.
So not only is this video dumb, it's confusing, and from one of the biggest bands in the world at that time. I really hope someone got fired over this. That was a lot to deal with, but thank you for sticking with me. If there's a music video that you want me to cover on the next one of these episodes, leave a comment below with a link on YouTube so that way I can see what it is. And trust me, there's a lot more terrible and awful music videos in rock.
Thanks again for watching this and putting up with all this, art? Yeah, let's go with art. Big thanks to my patrons who keep this channel going. You can help support Rocked and get perks for doing so through Patreon, because YouTube is making things harder and harder to make a living on this. Please check out the Patreon link in the YouTube card and video description link. Please subscribe, it helps to get ranked on YouTube searches, and you'll get notified for upcoming album reviews. You can check out my concert photography on Instagram, and you can keep up to date with Rocked on Facebook and Twitter.